Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you're here today. I love doing what I'm doing, and we're going to have masterclass number 2, how to prepare for plant-exclusive, salt, oil, sugar-free eating and lifestyle. And with me, I've been doing this for a long time, so I love helping people. So in masterclass number 2, are you ready or to reclaim your health, energy, and vitality to live a longer, healthier life? If you said yes, you better stick with me, baby. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to tell who I am. Some people know me, some people don't. So you'll have to hear it again if you've heard it before. We're going to do a little recap of masterclass number 1. We're going to do talk about the right life-giving whole plant foods. We're going to talk about vegan junk food, how to read the labels, what foods to include and what to exclude for weight loss and energy, and understand what a salt, oil, sugar-free diet is. And then we're going to make another claim for your health. Okay. So we're moving down. Oops. So who am I? Sorry if you've heard this before. I'll try to make it brief. I've been vegan for 35 years, or plant exclusive and a vegan. The difference between plant exclusive and vegan, I'll talk about later. I'm 79 years young. I reversed several diseases from cancer to heart disease to you name it, pre-diabetes, and I was obese too. I'm the co-founder of V-Dog Vegan Dog Food Company with my son, Darren, who runs the company. I'm the founder of the Vegan Mentor Coaching. I founded the Sacramento Vegan Society quite a while ago with over 5,000 members. Please join that if you can, even if you live somewhere else, because we do online events as well. I'm also a Food for Life nutrition and cooking instructor with Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. That's with Dr. Neil Bernard. If you haven't heard of him, you want to look him up. I'm a member of the Center for Nutritional Studies Medical Advisory Council with Dr. T. Colin Campbell, which I'm so proud to be part of. It's amazing. And I'm an aerobic instructor and a personal trainer with a local gym here in town. So, and I love doing that too. Let's go. Gotta hit the screen. Okay. What's wrong with that? I don't know why it's not just moving. Huh. What do I have to do, Leland? Hello?
Click your slides and then click your forward.
Did that do it? Is that the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. So first, a little recap of masterclass number 1 we did a couple weeks ago. We talked about the pleasure trap. And if you haven't read this book by Doug Lisle and Ellen Goldhammer, I recommend it highly, because most people have no idea in this earth what they're supposed to be eating. 3/4 of us are obese or overweight in the United States, and they have 1 to 3 diseases. Why? Because we're eating foods from the pleasure trap. You know, and everybody wants to feel pleasure, right? We all want to feel good. We want to avoid pain, and we want to do it as energy efficiently as we can. So that's what's happened, though, with the pleasure trap. If you go down the aisles in the grocery store, you see rows and rows of boxes and goods, and that's all. Most of them are the pleasure trap. You'll find out later why they're the pleasure trap, but the foods are, so like if you're hungry and you don't feel like doing anything, but you want to feel good right away, you eat a Snickers bar or a big chocolate bar or a chocolate chip cookie or something, right? And that was pleasurable. But does it help you in the long run? No. It makes us sick and fat. And we don't want that. So in the pleasure trap, they talk about how we concentrate on getting something else to make us feel better. Take the energy protein drink, or the doctor gives you supplements or pills to take. And yes, you feel better at that moment or for a short time, but you didn't stop the disease or whatever thing is hurting you from stopping. They didn't stop it because it keeps going on and on. Doctor gives you more pills or less pills or more supplements or more energy drinks or whatever. And we need to talk about taking away things that hurt us instead. We need to decrease the pleasure trap foods that are hurting us and instead take out meat, dairy, and eggs and things like that to feel better. So that's what the pleasure trap is about. And we talked about how to free ourselves from addictions, and I'll repeat a little bit that later. Think about what trap you may have been caught in and what you may need to become free of. I know that a lot of people, one of the big pleasure traps for me personally was dairy, like cheese. You know, dairy has casomorphine in it, comes from casein inside the milk. Why does a cow have that? A cow has that to make the baby cow come back to the mama so it doesn't wander off. Think morphine, casomorphine. The cow wants to be with that mama and suck the milk. Well, when we take the milk from the cow, against her will, by the way, she wants to give it to her baby. We concentrate it even in things like cheese. So it's concentrated casomorphine and casein, which grows the IGF growth hormone in our body, which causes cancer. Dairy is the number one most powerful carcinogen we have in all the foods. So we learned about that, and that's why it's so hard to get rid of. I couldn't walk by the refrigerator 35 years ago without taking out a piece of cheese. I had to have it. I couldn't be very long without it because it is as addictive as cocaine. A lot of people don't think so. But you know, if you're an alcoholic or smoke cigarettes, you can't have one cigarette. You can't have one glass of wine. And you can't have one bite of cheese without being re-addicted. So that's how that works. I really, really would like you to read that book. Okay, gotta hit the screen first. All right. So not everyone is 100% whole plant foods to begin with. I wasn't. The first few years, I was doing John McDougall because he didn't have oil. So I didn't have oil, but I was eating vegan hot dogs and the vegan cheese that didn't have oil. Every kind of bread there was that had no oil, just all kinds of stuff that wasn't making me completely healthy. I was healthier than eating all those animal products, but I still wasn't completely healthy. So I understand that when people have trouble starting out, I do get that. Now, what I did do is I gave up all animal products immediately because I didn't want to hurt the animals, for one thing, because my neighbor told me what happened to like a dairy cow. I didn't know that that was a problem for them. I thought they just liked giving us milk or something, that they were happy cows as they show on TV, right? So, but everybody has a different process, and I try to help bridge that process so you get there faster. It can be challenging not to eat those addictive foods. And just here, I'd like to talk a little bit about whole food, plant food. Exclusive eating is what we want, right? But then people think vegan means food. How many of you know, tell me in the chat, that you know what vegan means? Because my daughter, she thinks it means foods, and she won't talk to me anymore because she doesn't want to give up those foods. So unfortunately, she's 57 years old and she won't talk to me because she doesn't want to give up those addictive foods. And so, but vegan means, the meaning of vegan, I want to make sure that everybody knows this, because so many people think it just means vegan food. It means do no harm to any animals or any human animal or any insects or any living being, any sentient being. Dr. Donald Watson made the word vegan from the word vegetarian. In 1944, by the way, when I was born, I think there's something to that. I think it was meant to be. So the year I was born in 1944, he took the first three letters of vegetarian and the last two and stuck them together to make the word vegan, because he didn't want to hurt any animals anymore. Just like Pythagoras and people in history, Aristotle and all these other people were already vegan, but he decided he wanted to go there too. So thank you, Donald Watson. So what we're going to do is learn how to know the foods we're supposed to eat. And when you read the labels, we're going to look at the nutrition facts briefly because I'm going to show you what's wrong with those. And then we're going to concentrate on the ingredients because they really skew, they make it look very different than what it is when you look at the nutrition facts, which we'll talk about in a minute. But we're going to learn to eat foods from that picture on the right, from the whole foods as they were meant to be. When we process them, they're no longer whole foods. And so we're going to talk about why that's so important for our bodies. So let's move on. So when I 35 years ago, I used to eat the whole box of wheat thins in one day. No problem, because look what it said, 100% whole grain. Had to be good for me, whole grain, right? Never believe anything on the front of a package. Some of them say healthy, low fat, and they're not really. So don't believe anything on the front of a package. I learned that from my friend Jeff Novick. He always tells us that. Never believe what they say on the front. And that's how they sell it to you, though. And then when you look, let's look at the nutrition facts real quick. I want you to take a look at the total fat. It says 5%. You know, that doesn't sound bad. Only 5% fat in this big box here. I can do that, right? Well, that's a lie. Because what you have to do is you have to take the 5% and multiply that times 9, because there's 9 calories per gram in any oil or fat. So, and it comes out to 54. Then you take and divide the 54 by the calories, the 30 grams here by the calories. And when you do that, once you divide it, it comes out at 54% fat. That's what's really in there. So if I were you, don't even bother to look at the nutrition facts. Just go straight to the ingredients, and you can tell from there why you should not be eating it or why you can eat it. So let's look at the ingredients real quick. Okay, it says whole grain wheat flour. That's okay. I'm okay with that. But the second one is vegetable oil. That means there's a lot of oil if it's the second ingredient. And it comes with soybean or canola oil. Doesn't matter. They're both bad. Then you come out with sugar. That's not a food. That's a processed thing. And then cornstarch. That's not too bad. And malt syrup, more sugar. And then we have salt, more sodium. And then we have refiner syrup. I don't even know what that is, but it's more sugar. And then we have leavening. And this is what's really interesting. Leavening is made of calcium phosphate. And calcium phosphate, let me read. I wrote it down here somewhere. Oh, they promote heart disease and prostate cancer. Yeah, that's what phosphates do. And then we have baking soda, which is more sodium. And then we have vegetable color, which is, the color is interesting. The turmeric oleoresin causes skin diseases or skin issues. And then annatto extract, that one's a really bad one. That one, see, I have it written down here. It causes itchiness, swelling, hives, stomach pain, and IBS. Who wants that? And then on top of that, they add BHT to make it preserve it. And BHT is, let me see, I wrote that down. It causes abdominal pain. All in one box, guys. So let's skip eating those for sure. And now you know how to look for stuff. Now let me look at another one people like a lot, which is almond breeze. I'm glad somebody's taking that over dairy cow milk. That makes me happy because nobody's getting hurt by this except you. You yourself will be hurt by this. Same thing with the nutrition facts. It only says 3%. But if you do the calculation, it's 23%. Doesn't that sound worse than 3%? Yeah. And they do that with salt and sugar too. So let's skip the nutrition facts and go right over to the ingredients. This one kills me actually, because it feels like it's so good. It's made from almond water, right? And the first part is almond milk, filtered water, no problem. And almonds. And then they call for calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate hurts your heart rhythm, gives you kidney stones and kidney function problems. Yeah, that's calcium carbonate. And cocoa is not the pure form once they do the Dutch process. They do it to make it creamier and taste better, but it actually is a process that's not exactly good for us. but who cares? Nobody knows what that is, so they can put it up here, no problem. And then tapioca starch, I'm okay with that, I think. Sea salt, more salt, sodium. We don't need that for your heart disease. Potassium citrate, I wrote that it gives you esophageal problems, irritation. It gives you stomach irritation and burns. Okay, isn't that wonderful? Sunflower lecithin is not that bad, but I wouldn't trust it either. And it's usually made with oils too. And then vitamin A palmitate is one of my most hated ones on here of all, because vitamin A palmitate is another fancy name for palm oil. Palm oil hurts your arteries. All oils hurt your arteries. Canola oil, olive oil, motor oil, I don't care. They're all 9 calories per gram, every one of them. And they are really bad for you, for your heart. What it does, it takes your arteries and removes the nitric oxide in the center of your arteries. And it also breaks down the endothelial cells that are protecting your arteries and keeping them open. And then plaque can form there and your arteries start to narrow. And now you got high blood pressure. And now you got heart disease. And you could have a stroke even, all from eating oil. So oil is never a good food. Do not believe the Mediterranean diet. The reason it was better than ours is because they ate all the healthy food and they were better than us despite the olive oil, but it is not healthy. One bit, not any kind. Just like you wouldn't put oil down your sink, don't put it down your body either. Let's see, vitamin D2, if you get too much vitamin D, that can be an issue. So that's not good to have there. Then we have tocopherol, natural vitamin E. I wrote that down too, because it's not good for you. Let's see, where did I put it? Tocopherol, I know I put it here somewhere. Anyway, whatever it is, it's not good. I can't find it at the moment. Oh, here it is. It causes, it's oil-based for one. And it causes hemorrhage. Isn't that lovely? So we're going to stay away from that type of thing. Always read the ingredients. I buy canned beans a lot because I'm too lazy to make my own. But I always get the one that just say beans and water. Make sure it doesn't have salt with it too, okay? All right, so let's go to the next one. So what we need to do is eat a starch-based diet. I don't know how, raise your hand if you know Dr. John McDougall. I learned from him 35 years ago how to save my life by eating a starch-based diet. I recommend reading the book, The Starch Solution. I'm certified in that book to teach it because it saved my life. And now he said that, like 70, 80% of our plate needs to be starch. And so many people are afraid of carbohydrates. On TV, you see protein, no carbs, low carb. Like that's a good thing. Guess what? The complex carbohydrates are why I, at 79, have so much energy and I'm so strong, right? I'm so strong because I eat a starch-based diet and it gives me energy. It gives me vitality. It helps me go on with all the things I'm doing, which seems to be an awful lot lately because I also do animal rights things. But anyway, complex carbs like potatoes and beans and peas and corn and lentils and whole grains, those are what give you energy and should be most of your plate. What they're talking about, though, are starch-based foods that are processed. They come with oil and sugar and salt, like French fries come with the potato, which is great for you, but then comes with oil and salt. Or a muffin comes with, all the other stuff, eggs and dairy and salt and sugar. And that's not a complex carbohydrate anymore. So we're eating the complex carbohydrates. And we're eating the dark leafy greens. I eat kale every day. It's so full of calcium and vitamin C and, protein. So eat your kale every day if you can. It's like a really top food for nutrients. And then I eat cruciferous vegetables. I eat broccoli every day too. And sometimes cauliflower. But, those are really healthy for you too. And by the way, broccoli has more protein than beef. People don't know how much protein is in our plant food. The other day I went to a farm sanctuary and I was sitting next to a lady, and she told me she had been plant-based and vegan for 8 years. I said, "Oh, that's wonderful. You've helped a lot of animals." And she says, "Yeah, but I'm worried about my protein still." Here she is 8 years later. She doesn't know any of the doctors we know, or some of you know, and I know, and she doesn't know anything about health. So she's still worried about her protein. So I told her to write me so I could explain that that's not a problem, that you don't need to have protein powders or any protein drinks or anything like that. And then another lady sitting next to me on the other side said, she saw me, I bring my own food to the potluck because it's full of potatoes and peas and beans and corn and onions and whatever I bring. Delicious. I was eating a plate this big, and everybody was eating everybody else's food. And everybody else's food, by the way, had oil and sugar and salt. There were no animal products, but it was all very unhealthy anyway. They bought breads and cakes and cookies and all kinds of stuff that I don't eat. Well, I eat cookies, but my own cookies that are whole food. So anyway, that's why we need to learn primarily to eat a starch-based diet, and then you add on the dark leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, and other veggies, and of course fruits. And if you're okay with your weight, you can have nuts and seeds and a few olives too, and things like that. So now, if we want to be really healthy, we'd have to take all the salt, oil, sugar, any ingredient you can't pronounce, alcohol, and caffeine. Now, alcohol is interesting because it raises it helps cause cancer. So if you want cancer, drink your alcohol. I was drinking 2 glasses of red wine every night before I got my thyroid cancer. So between the cancer, the alcohol and the cheese, I'm pretty sure that's why I had cancer. So, and then coffee, it raises your blood pressure. If you didn't know that, please know that now. Just like salt does too, but caffeine does. And caffeine is interesting. Coffee has 2 bad oils inside that bean, cafestol and kaolin. And those 2 oils actually hurt your heart in coffee. So, I'm going to go on. So we have to eat from that produce aisle the most, guys, because this is what saves lives. It saved my life. And it's interesting because we're so addicted to the pleasure trap food. Sometimes it seems when I tell people you got to eat your broccoli, they're, ugh, I don't really like broccoli. I like Cheez-Its and cheese, and or I like ice cream, but broccoli, right now, one of my favorite things to eat, I eat a savory breakfast. How's our time, guys? Oh, okay. I eat a savory breakfast, and people, ooh, how can you eat that? Oh my God, to me now, because I've been eating this way so long, the food tastes so wonderful. I can't wait to eat my vegetables in the morning. I have some potatoes, always have potatoes. I eat about 10, 12 potatoes a day, no problem. But that's for my energy source. But for all my nutrients and antioxidants, I eat colorful vegetables for breakfast. I put a little water in the bottom of my big Scan pan. I put some chopped up onions in there and some chopped up garlic in there. By the way, when you chop your garlic, let it sit out for a few minutes to let all the antioxidants release. So I put the garlic and the onions in a little water and cook it up. Then I add a little more water, and I add all these different vegetables like kale chopped up, like broccoli chopped up, like carrots and red bell peppers and zucchini and portobello mushrooms, or any mushrooms you like. And what else? Oh, sometimes I put chopped up Brussels sprouts in there. And I'm telling you, zucchini, yeah, it is so delicious. I just eat a big bowl of that and my potatoes, and I am so satisfied. It's interesting, the liquid underneath, I drink it too. It's like a little soup, but it's kind of sweet tasting after all those vegetables. It tastes kind of sweet. And I just can't wait to eat my breakfast in the morning. You don't have to eat it for breakfast like I do, but I love doing this. And I know I got my big antioxidant strong diet going already. So we have to know the temptation in order to avoid the temptation. So what you have to do, what I tell my clients in the morning, I say, in the morning, you get up and you make a plan first of what you're going to eat, so that you have an idea where you're going to get the food, what you're going to do about it, because you never know when somebody's going to come by with a pecan pie to give you or something, or you never know when you're going to be asked to go somewhere and there's nothing to eat but all bad food. So you got to prepare ahead. Like when I'm traveling in the car and I'm going out to lunch with somebody, I eat about 5 potatoes in the car. When I get there, I'm not even hungry. And then I order a salad and bring my own salad dressing with me, and I'm fine. And they say, why? And if there's people who don't know me, say, why are you not eating what we're eating? And if you don't want to talk to them about it and you want to keep it just a pleasant day, you just say, oh, my doctor said I have high cholesterol, so I just can't eat that food. Thank you, though. And I used to have high cholesterol. So anyway, so that's a good answer if you don't want to explain it. Sometimes I love explaining it. And I'll say, oh, it's the healthiest way to eat, I found out. And I got rid of my cancer, my heart disease, and all that. And I lost 50 pounds. And then they go, you did really? And then I talk more about it and they might be interested. You never know when you plant the seed. So that's what we talked about today. Wrapping it up, the right whole food plant foods, the vegan junk foods, read the label, what foods to include and what to exclude for weight loss and energy. Understand what a salt, oil, sugar-free diet is. I want to jump back to the one that says for weight loss. I have 2 types of clients. I have some, not that many, but some who don't need to lose any weight, but they need to transition to a plant diet, a plant exclusive diet. They eat a little differently than my regular clients because weight isn't an issue. So for my weight loss clients, they eat the same food as everybody else, except when they're doing the weight loss with me, they will have to exclude certain foods just during the weight loss program. Like they will exclude nuts and seeds, agave nectar, avocado, dried fruit, breads, cakes, cookies, flours, muffins, olives, pasta, salt, sugar, oil, and soy products. Soy products are good for you. They even help promote stop cancer, but they're high fat. So just during the weight loss period, we restrict from certain of the normal plant food. And even my normal people who are not, even my people who aren't overweight should eat a lower calorie density diet rather than the high calorie. So you don't want to be eating avocados every day, for instance, even if you're not overweight, because like Dr. McDougall said, they're seasonal and they should be eaten once in a while, not every day or every week even. So just remember to try to make your food, no matter if you're doing weight loss or not, to be a low calorie dense diet as much as possible. Okay. Now on birthdays, I will go and have my friend's cashew ice cream and I'll eat the whole pint, but just on my birthday. There's no oil. Now, there are certain things you have to do in order to make, and then make yourself really healthy. If you want to claim good health, these are the 6 pillars. You got to eat right, a low calorie dense plant exclusive diet, exercise. By the way, when I'm working with you, I send out videos to show you different forms of exercise to do. They're not mine, but they're so available, and I find the best ones and send to you so you know what to do for the exercise. And everybody gets to do exercise every day when they work with me. But sometimes you're not ready to do anything but walk. That's fine. I'm fine with walking. And then later on, maybe do walk run, like 3 minutes walk, 1 minute run. And then some people never get to that point even, but that's fine. Walking's fine. And then we have weight training 2 times a week minimum. 3's better, but 2's fine. I only do two a week, and I got muscles, baby. Yeah. I only do it 2 times a week, but I'm so strong. I can outdo my 30-year-old sometimes. Yeah. Then we need good sleep. I have to go to sleep really early now because my disabled dog is a big problem. I have to get up at 5 a.m. So I have to make sure I go to bed early now, especially with the time change. So reduce and manage stress. This is something I always have to work on because I tend to get myself worked up over things. And so, but I'm working on it. And then we need to, of course, avoid the salt, sugar, oil, caffeine, alcohol, tobacco, etc. And we need to have nice relationships with our community. So I tell you, even if you don't live in Sacramento, we do a lot of online stuff. I'd love you to join the Sacramento Vegan Society meetup page. You join meetup.com and then search Sacramento Vegan Society and join us for our online events, even if you live in New Jersey. Okay. So then you have people to talk to because you can talk in the chat and you can learn to know people. I actually made a lot of friends at being in the chat rooms. It's really fun. So you can do all this stuff, all these pillars with me. Here is how. Okay, gotta hit that first. So I put on a 4-week Get Healthy group program. And what we do is we set specific goals. We meet weekly at Zoom. We participate weekly in Q&A. We keep a food journal, receive recipes and guidelines from me. We celebrate our successes. It's limited to only 10 people. It starts on Monday, April 3rd, 4 weeks at 6 p.m. for 1 hour. So I love this program because it gets so personal this way with people. I love it. It's only $97 for 4 weeks. And I'd love you to sign up today. So here's what we do during the program. On week 1, I got my picture in the way here. It's so loud. On week 1, we have introductions and a food journal, of course. And I talk about the books and videos and recipes. And I'm going to give you an assignment for the next week. And then week 2, we do training and review the challenges and successes. We have celebrations and love seat coaching. Used to be called the hot seat, but we call it the love seat coaching assignment for the next week. What is love seat coaching? It means if you have an issue, you get to tell all of us and we all get to hear my explanation on how to fix it. Yep. It's wonderful. Oh, see, I gotta move this here. Now, oh, here we are. There it is, the price again. But so it begins on April 3rd at 6 p.m. So sign up before that, guys. And then this is questions you might have. How do you know if this program is right for me? Well, if you're overweight, of course, it's right for you. If you're just not feeling very good, it's right for you. If you have any medical issues like heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, I help with all that. I work with your doctor, or you work with your doctor. You tell your doctor you're working with a professional health coach and tell them what you're doing. Because what's important during the time is if you say you have high blood pressure and you're eating the whole food plant diet, guess what? Your blood pressure drop too far. And you might feel dizzy, a little tired. Then you go right to your doctor and say, oh, I feel a little dizzy, tired. Oh, we got to lower your blood pressure then. So because once they see the blood pressure has lowered on its own, then they want to take you down. And pretty soon you get off all high blood pressure medications, and that's the goal. Same thing with diabetes. I've had one lady who had diabetes for 27 years. And she was able to get off her diabetes medication because she took one course from me. I told her to eat a whole food plant exclusive diet, and she did. And within weeks, she was able to get off her metformin. She had it for 27 years. She would get more metformin, a little less, more. It'd go up like a roller coaster. She never felt really good because she had diabetes for so long. And now she's diabetic free for many years. No medication, no medication. She completely reversed it. Because here's a point I want to make about diabetes, just in case you don't know. Diabetes is not caused by sugar. Everybody thinks they have to give up sugar or sweet things even, or even potatoes. That's not what causes diabetes. What causes diabetes is fat, saturated fat from animal products. So the way it works is if you eat, say, a piece of chicken, and the fat from that chicken, a saturated fat chicken, goes into your cell. Now your cells are filled up with fat. And then you become diabetic because your body's not getting the sugar out of there. It's trapped in there. The oil traps, it keeps the sugar from getting in. The glucose produced from your pancreas tries to bring the sugar into your cell, but it's like gum in a door lock. You can't get in. Sugar can't get in. So your body thinks it needs more sugar. Has nothing to do with eating sugar. It has to do with eating fat. So that's what causes diabetes. And that's why we get rid of it so quickly, is because we're not eating the saturated fat from animal products anymore. And it's so wonderful to see that happen. I'm not a doctor, but the doctor goes, my goodness, what are you doing? And they say, oh, I'm eating a low-fat, plant-exclusive diet. Well, whatever you're doing, keep going. Your doctor only had 4 hours of nutrition, and not even the right 4 hours of nutrition in 4 years of medical school. It's not their fault. Not all of them mean to be mean. They think they're telling you the right thing to do. My doctor happens to be vegan because he found out like I did. And he's a member of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. He went beyond his medical degree to find out about this. So I'm so happy he did, because I love having a vegan doctor. I don't have to check on him every year like I did my other doctors. I always told my other doctors, look, you got to eat like me. You got to know about nutrition like me, so I don't have to keep checking on you every year. Right? So that's how we work with your doctor, though. We have you contact your doctor and tell them that I'm working with you now, and let them know what you're eating. And maybe even what I did with one of my doctors, I gave him the book, The Starch Solution, Dr. John McDougall, and I said, you better read this so you can know what I know, okay? And it's a good way to start. Is there anything that I should avoid eating to start on the right note and get the most out of the program? Yes, you have to give up the meat and the dairy, the eggs, the salt, and the oil. Now, the salt and sugar, I can do a little leeway for a while, but I'm going to wean you off that too. But on the oil and the animal products, those got to go right away. Otherwise, you stay addicted to them and you never get well. Nope. And if you miss a session, no problem. They're recorded and you can watch the whole thing again. And then if you really have an issue with something, you really want to talk to me, you can go to my chat or something and let me know that you really need to ask me a question. I'll be glad to do that. Or even email me too. So thank you for joining us today. I'm so happy you could be here. Whoops. And anybody have any questions? I so hope you'll join me for my 4-week program, because, you know, our health is the only thing we have. It's the only thing we have that counts the most. Yes, we need money. Yes, we need a house or a home or someplace to live or a rental, anything to cover us. But if we don't have our health, that doesn't even matter. You know, there's people with a lot of money who die early, who are sick and not feeling well when they get older. By the time they're my age, they're really quite sick. And they have all the money and comforts in the world, but they don't have what they need the most, to be with their families. And for me, I wanted to help animals. And you can't help animals if I don't feel well. I would have been dead, seriously dead, 35 years ago. 35 years ago, I would have been dead because I was on my way. My doctor told me I was going to die of my heart disease before of my cancer. Yeah. And I don't wish any of you that. I wish you all to be well. Yes, there are some cancers that are rare as heck, And no matter what you eat, you might get, but those are pretty rare, thank goodness. But it can happen. But for heart disease, that's reversible. For diabetes, that's reversible. For obesity or being overweight, that's reversible. Also, you know, a lot of people, I have a very dear friend, and I've known her for many years, and she gained a bunch of weight. She eats plants, but she eats processed food and oils and sugars and salt. And she does not want to change, because I said, I'd coach you, and she won't have it. And she's just not ready to give up those addictive foods. And I've seen that happen. It makes me very sad, because she lost her husband, and then she lost her boyfriend. And I thought, she wants to date again and everything, but she doesn't feel all that great. She doesn't have that much energy. And she's quite a bit younger than I am, but she is not heading in the right direction. Even as a plant, I mean, she's not hurting any animals right now by eating no animal products, but she still is eating all that processed food. And I really would love to help her, but I'm clueless as how to do it with her. So I'm hoping you are one of the people who want my help. I can give it to you. I feel so good. I want you to feel as good as I do. Yeah, I feel like $1,000,000. I feel so good. And I want everybody to feel as good as I do, especially when you get older like me, because so many people who are older like me are doing well. They have all kinds of issues. So I really hope that I will see you April 3rd, so I can be with you, help you, monitor you, and maybe you only mess up a few times, but I can help you with that too. So thanks again, everyone.
Linda, let's go ahead and open it up to questions so
Okay.
that we still have time. And so if people have questions, you can come on camera. I'm actually going to come on camera. I'm
Okay.
on camera, and you can come on camera. You can unmute yourself. Vlyn is on camera. And let's see, what are some of the questions that people have? Feel free to ask Linda anything about your healthy eating, about the program that you would like to.
I have a question. So in your program, I know one of the things that's important is how to shop, you know, how to pick the right fresh foods and what it looks like, as well as in the kitchen, what you do with it when you get it home. Are you gonna be able to teach anything like that to help folks out with that?
Yes, I would like to do an online coaching in the store. I'd like to I shop at the Sacramento Natural Food Co-op because they have the best produce there. And I'd like to walk through the aisles and talk about what I pick out and why. And then I can also do some demos on some of my favorite ways to cook and what I eat. Because really, for instance, I love potatoes, right? And potatoes, unlike grains, Dr. McDougall told me you could eat potatoes the rest of your life if you just added broccoli every day. You could eat all potatoes. And that would give you all the nutrients you ever needed, besides your B12, which is not a vitamin, it's a bacteria. And our food, the way it's sourced, is not is too cleanly now, so we don't get the bacteria. But so whenever he told me that, I know that I'll be healthy as long as I get my broccoli and my potatoes in every day. And you can't do that with grains. You can't do broccoli and grains to do it. You have to do it with potato. Potato is so ultimately nutritious. In fact, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my friend Andrew Spudfit Taylor. Have you heard of him? Well, he's from Ireland, and Australia, sorry. He's from Australia. He came here and stayed with me and was my speaker one time. I don't know if any of you here saw him, but he was famous. You know why? Does anybody know why he was famous? Well, he was very overweight, and he had, I think, 130 pounds or something. And he had all kinds of problems, issues, and diseases. And he had seen Dr. McDougall one time. So what he did is he decided he would eat nothing but potatoes for a year, nothing else, only potatoes. He did. He lost all the weight. He lost all his diseases. His blood work was perfect. I'm not telling anybody needs to do that, but he did that. And then the TV show called The Doctors got a hold of him and said, will you come on our show? And he said, I'll come on only if Dr. McDougall will come with me. So McDougall agreed to go on the show with him. I'm surprised he did that. But anyway, I know him and he's very picky about what he does. But he went on the show with him. And so it became famous. It became viral all over the world. And even today, he teaches a Spud Fit program. And they don't eat just potatoes. But so potatoes are something I really want people to know how nutritious they really are. So if you can add a lot of potatoes to your diet every day, by the way, it's how I lost my 50 pounds, basically, was eating a lot of potatoes. So did I answer?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And I'm sure that a lot of people will look forward to that. Linda, how about talking to people about the special gift that you have for those who are going to be joining in your program? And I'm going to share screen to show that so that people can have an idea. Why don't you tell folks about this?
Okay, we're going to show you the plant-based foods, a list of them, of what we do for this. Let's see, let me go forward. Oops, I got to hit the screen. It's not moving, Vlyn. Oh, there.
Vlyn has control over it.
So we're going to have this nice outline for your food shopping list and what to do, with some comments on how to do it, and which foods we should be eating and why. And for weight loss later on, we tell you which foods we're going to take out. So they have very clear about what you can and can't eat. So it's lovely. All your spices, the food list for weight loss. Yeah.
And then we want people to stay connected with Linda. So you'll have some information in the back about checking in on her website to make sure that you see all of the things that she's got, that she's doing. And she mentioned the shopping. We're actually going to do that as a semi-full production so that people in the program will get that video. So you'll be able to play it over and over again. And the cooking demonstrations that she's going to be doing, not just one, not just two, several that you'll be a part of.
Yes, I love doing that. And people just really sometimes don't know what to eat. You know, it's very hard. And another tip I have is it's not how much you eat, it's what you eat. In other words, you never have to feel hungry. I never feel hungry. I've always got food by me somewhere. I'm worse than my partner. He eats like a half a teaspoon of something and he says, I'm full. I eat mountains of food. And the skinnier I get, because I don't want to gain weight because I've been there and I don't want to do that again. But I love eating whenever I'm hungry, no matter how much. It doesn't matter. I eat till I'm full. Until I say, oh, I don't want any more. I can't eat anymore. That's where I get to. I'm full. And I eat so much food, really. I can, 10, 15 potatoes, no problem. And I carry my potatoes in my bag with me everywhere I go. So if I ever feel hungry at all, I eat one. And then when I get near those tempting foods around other people always have tempting foods everywhere you go. And you can guarantee, even if they said there's no oil in it, there's oil in it.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee it. So I never eat other people's food. I just don't, because I know that they accidentally didn't know that they had oil in it. They didn't know that the tahini they put in there had oil in it. They don't know. So it's something you can't trust.
And Linda, we have a question that came in from HEALTY. Are fruits limited, and will you talk about how to eat while traveling? Now, Hildy, are you asking if she's going to talk about it now or during the program? Because during the program, Linda, I know you go into a lot of detail on that stuff.
Yeah.
During the program.
During the program.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. During the program, I'll be talking about how I travel and what I do. Somebody wants in here.
Oh, okay. Let's,
So,
we'll let them in. We'll
I
let
did,
them in. Okay.
what was the first part of the question?
Are fruits limited?
Oh, yeah. When we do the weight loss program in particular, I like to keep it 2 fruits a day. 2 fruits a day, like an apple, piece of cantaloupe, or blueberries, blackberries or something, a cup of those, whatever. But I like to keep it to 2 cups a day. If you go to 3, I'm not going to holler. But yeah, I like to limit the fruit during the weight loss period. Yeah.
And you don't want Linda hollering at you. I can tell you that. No, just kidding. Linda, you're just an amazing coach, because I know in the time that I've known you, I actually thought drinking almond milk, the whatever brand you put up, I thought that was okay. And we were actually preparing with you this presentation, and you told me what the truth about almond milk is. I haven't touched a drop since that time, because I did not realize, and that's the thing that I love about the way you teach, is that you present information that most of us aren't even aware of, and we don't know what we don't know. And in Linda's program, she goes through a lot of detail of pointing out things that we've been led to believe are okay, and in reality, they're not. And things that we thought were not okay, like eating 15 potatoes in a day. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? But eating potatoes is a good thing. Why is it that people have such a negative connotation around potatoes, Linda? Because
they're a carb. They're a starch, and people are taught in our country, especially, don't eat carbs. Carbs are bad. Eat protein, protein, protein. And so the starch that is bad is the one that's processed food, the potatoes that come with the oil and the salt, or the cookies that come with the oil and the salt and the eggs and the sugar. Those are carbs that are bad for you, and they don't help you. But the complex carbohydrates, like a potato, is a complex carbohydrate. And that's why people with diabetes get to eat carbohydrates like potatoes. So what happens, for instance, if you're diabetic and you eat a potato, your blood sugar is going to shoot right up. But because it has so much fiber and everything, it just levels out in a hurry. It just levels right out. And that's why people, when I teach my diabetes classes, by the way, if you ever know anybody who needs diabetes instruction or cancer, I teach Food for Life diabetes and cancer classes. And if you know anybody who needs that, but I forgot what I was going to say. But anyway, we learn to eat carbohydrates in our diabetes classes, and we give up the sugar, because that's a processed food. And we give up the oil. The oil is more important. If you had to choose for a diabetic, which one to give up, oil or sugar, it'd be the oil.
Wow.
Not the sugar. Because the oil does the most damage to your cells. And by the way, did I talk about the mitochondria in your cell? I did, right?
You did in Masterclass 1, but you didn't really touch on it today.
Oh, well, inside your cell are these little mitochondria. They're like little burners. And they're the stuff that's a little mitochondria is what burns fat when you eat. Now, some people have a little longer time losing weight than other people. Some people lose 1 to 4 pounds a week. Some take a year to lose all the weight they need. So their mitochondria is not working yet because they were eating bad food for a long time, and the mitochondria go to sleep. They're no longer burning the fat. And so we want to wake those up so that you could start burning the fat. And your microbiome has to really improve before you take the weight off. So that's why some people have trouble taking their weight off right away. So,
well, here's a question that popped in. And then I have a question for the audience that I think would be great for you, Linda, as far as like, what are people's greatest challenges when it comes to eating healthy, whether it be a whole food plant-based diet or, eliminating the meat and all that. So if you could put that in the comments, people, that would be great. And the question is, how many ways do you eat potatoes and what's your favorite way?
Good question.
So go ahead, Linda. What is how many ways?
You're asking
Yeah,
that
that's for you. That's for you.
Well, I think one of my favorite ways is mashed potatoes, but it takes more time.
Uh-huh.
So, and I can use Oatly milk,
Okay.
because that doesn't have anything bad for you in it. I get it at Trader Joe's, if you know. So I mix that, and then I can use a little bit of Benson's Table Tasty non-seasoning salt
Okay.
with my mashed potatoes. And sometimes I put a little even Westbury mustard in there too, because it's salt and sugar free and oil free. And so I like that. But what I do on a regular basis with my potatoes, and I love it, I actually put a big plate down and I take off all the bad parts on the potato, peel that part off, and I put the potatoes on a big dinner plate and I put a dinner plate on top, put it in the microwave for 31 minutes. It comes out perfectly. And then I keep them in the refrigerator when I can't eat all of them. And then when I take them out of the refrigerator, I warm them up a little bit in the microwave again. But then I take Westbury mustard. I love mustard. It's such a good mustard. And you get it in the Whole Foods or wherever. And I think they have it at Trader Joe's. I don't know. But I just dip it in that a little bit and eat it just like that. Or I just eat it plain. I love it that way too.
Excellent. Okay. And we have a question from Barbara. She writes, my challenge is using enough spices and flavorings to cut back on salt. I'm with you, Barbara. So Linda, what do we do?
Well, we're going to take note of all the spices we wrote down in our program notes. And we're going to look it up in different places. And I'll help you with that when we get there. But like I said, there are some things. There's a group called Local Spicery, I think it's called. They have the best spices in the world. And so like there's a pepperoni spice, for instance, and I sometimes put that on my potato. So it makes things very interesting. So basically it's just learning to use the spices in different ways to make it tasty.
Excellent. Okay. And you'll be covering that in the 4-week course. Okay. And what again are you going to cover in week 1? You might want to even pull up the slide to go through again what you'll be covering and what the benefits to people are, because I know that sometimes people try to do things on their own, but when they have a coach, when they have a mentor, and they have other people who have a similar goal, they tend to have more success. So
that's true. Let me look that up here.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't find that the first time. Whoops.
Just click back, hit backspace.
I don't see the backspace
on your keyboard.
Oh, yeah, keyboard.
That should do it.
Or the back arrow, the left arrow.
Lower left-hand corner.
I've got one
on the screen.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so let's see. Should I
hit number 16 to the left?
Yeah.
Number 16. There. Click that. Okay.
Oh, did we not go over this?
Yeah. Why don't you go over it again?
Okay. So week 1, we're to do introductions, and we're going to keep a food journal, which you're going to send to me every evening. And then we're going to learn which books to read right up front, if you haven't read them already, which videos to watch, and you'll get a few recipes from me, and you'll have your assignment for the following week. So, and then, let's see, I got to hit that again.
No, you're fine.
I'm on week 2. Oh, week 2. Okay, so week 2, we're going to do the training and review challenges and successes and celebrations. And we're going to put on the love seat. If anybody has any issues, we're going to put you on the love seat and I'll answer those amongst all of us so we all can learn from it. And then assignment for the next week.
Okay. Then click on over to the left, number 17. Just click on number 17. No. Up right there.
Okay,
Oh,
I just had to
okay.
move me over somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's see. Then we're going to do the training and the review the challenges and successes and celebrations, love seat coaching. And this is where you should have a pretty good idea by week 3 of what you're supposed to eat and not eat, because I think you'll have it really pat by then, because I go over it so well during the training. And then week 4, we're going to review and challenges, successes, love seat coaching, and the celebrations, and see how we all did, see how everybody succeeded, or maybe they haven't done it as much as they wanted to, but they feel better, they look better, and they have more energy than they've ever had before, which is my goal for you. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. And I would say if people have questions, you still have time to ask your questions. You can come on screen, you can unmute yourself, or you can put the question in the chat area. All you need to do is click the little chat button at the bottom. And we do encourage you to ask questions while Linda's here. She's a wealth of information, 35 years as a plant-based eater, a vegan. So, hey, Hildy, I'll get
Hi,
off
Hildy.
camera.
Hey, good to see you again, girl.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I have a question. My husband is a sad eater, the standard American diet. And that's one of the biggest challenges. And my daughter, she's 50-50. She's only thing she doesn't eat any meat except a little bit of chicken, maybe once a month.
Mhm.
But she does have chips, and she does hide them under a shelf, but I still find them. And so I know I'm hurting myself by cheating.
Yeah.
Besides having my own shelf, would you recommend things I can do also besides my own shelf?
One of the things I would do right away is see if you can get your daughter and husband to watch What the Health.
Mm.
That's number one I would do. I would get them to watch What the Health. I actually have a client right now who had her husband watch What the Health. And I'm not saying it's perfect for her yet, but I think it's a huge step forward. You want to ask them to help you. You tell them you're really fighting for your best health. And you ask them, could you be my partner in this and help me out? Make sure I don't know where the chips are, please. I really need some help with this. You really have, if you really love me, you will help me with this, because this is what I want for myself. I want to feel my very best. I want to be my best weight. I want to have the best body mass index. I want to have energy. And I can't if I eat the wrong food. And the wrong food for me, and I'm going to tell you what they are right now. And you tell them what the wrong food is, and maybe make a list and put it on the refrigerator or on the cabinet door. Show them what you want to be eating right now. And anytime you can help me by eating it with me will help. Have them join you. Have them help you cook it. People always want to eat what they cook. They feel proud of it. So try to get them involved in the recipe making, and then have them, if you can, have them read the starch solution, because people have to understand that starch is our main food, our energy source. And if you can get them just started with the starch solution, that will help too. If you can get them reading and watching the movie, saying, please, I love you both so much. I need your help. I want you to help me, please. And tell them why you want the help and how long you want it. You tell them you want this for life, because it's my life and I want to be here for you. And I want to feel my best while I'm here. That's what you got to do with them. Yeah. Make a plan, make a list, show them your food logs you're writing, right? Show them your food logs, and show them that what you ate, and then tell them how good you feel that day at the end of the day. Say, I feel so good when I wake up in the morning because yesterday I did so well. And thank you for helping me with that, right? Have them help you be responsible. And that really helps people get the whole idea. But the movies, the book, and getting their permission to help you, have them help you, is really key. Yeah. Thank you. Come to my aerobics class again. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Hildy.
Yeah, that was a tough class, Linda. I was actually kind of surprised, but you got me winded there.
Oh, good. Well, come back, girl. Yeah. I've been with that class about 7 years.
Yeah, and all the weights too, which was a nice combination of aerobics and weights. It was nice. It was tiring. I was tired,
baby. That's the only weight training I do during the week, 2 times a week, and it's great. So anyway, I hope to see you.
I'm thinking about it. Are you having a third mentor class like this, or just the 2 before class starts in April?
We will do it later, but right now it's just the 4-week program, you mean? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. That's just for right now, but we'll do it again later, but I hope you can join me.
Yeah, it kind of motivated me now that I saw your what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. I think I will. I've been with Linda before, but this is more structured, I think, and I think it will be better for me.
The group experience becomes part of it. Other people doing the same thing, right? Other people with the struggles that we have when we change over.
Yeah.
I think that helps a lot with the accountability too. Yeah.
Yes, the like-minded people. Yeah, and
people.
I agree.
So I'm hoping to see you, Hildy.
You got me on the fence right here, so I'm close.
Okay, good.
So the question I would ask, I'm gonna kind of interject something here. Hildy, what would it take for you to get off the fence? Because that's a great point. I think a lot of people, we tend to sit on the fence about something, and what is it that would make you say, yes, this is something I definitely need to do?
Oh, that's a very good question. Am I unmuted?
You're unmuted. We can
Okay.
hear you.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can.
That's a really good question.
And anyway, when I see you in class, I'll be able to ask you more.
I really just think is like, just make the decision. Either I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it.
Mhm.
And it's my desire and my intent. What do I want for myself, even though I will have challenges with family eating differently than me?
Right.
It's just making a commitment. Just what do I want?
Okay.
And when do I want it? And what are my goals?
I want to help. I want to help. I love watching people get better. I love it. It's the best thing in the world to see people actually make the commitment and do it. It is so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, it's kind of selfish in a way. I get to see people get off their high blood pressure medication. I get to see them drop the weight. It's wonderful. It's like, I tell my own doctor is vegan, by the way.
Oh, wow.
I'm so lucky. Did I tell you how I found him? Did I say that already? No. Well, I had an ear infection or something. So I went to my doctor, and he was still eating fish. And I've been working on him for a year to stop eating fish. And he's Japanese descent, and he wasn't going to give up his fish. But anyway, so one day I had an earache and he wasn't there. So I went to see another doctor. And that doctor was looking at my ear and he goes, I am too. And I said, you're what? He said, I am too. I said, you're what? And he was looking at my earrings that said vegan on them. And I said, oh, well, you didn't, I never had those on. He said, you're vegan too? Yeah. And I found out oil-free because he read Dr. Esselstyn's book. Anyway, I was so happy to find him. But then I said, look, I can't be your patient because I'm working on my doctor right now, getting him healthy. And he said, oh, please come on over to me. I said, oh, maybe. Well, that night he switched me to him. And I wasn't ready to go there. So I'm kind of glad now because he's vegan. But I don't have to check on him. You know, I don't have to check on my doctor because he eats like I do. And that's so marvelous. So anyway, I asked him if he ever wanted to be a speaker on one of my shows, and he said no. And I also asked him if he told any other doctors about what he eats, and he said no. He's afraid to lose his job.
Oh.
Afraid to lose his job. Because see, they get money when they offer drugs and surgery. They don't get a lot of money if you don't come see them because you're well.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's the problem. They would be dinged if they didn't make money. So getting people well is hard to do, isn't it, for them? But anyway, he's a really nice man, and I always ask him if he has more vegan patients. He said, "Yeah, Linda, it's growing." He said, "I have. It used to be just me for years, and now he has more. So I'm so happy."
Yeah. That reminds me, are you going to talk about also the psychological components? Because I think what I'm trying to say is, I think we were taught backwards. I believe the pyramid when I was a little girl, it was meat down at the bottom row, and then there was bread, and then on the very top, I think it was the lettuce and the carrots and the vegetables and then fruits. And I think there's a psychology that I have a problem with, that I wrestle with, because I was brought up a different way.
Oh, exactly. No, this is a big, I was too. And that's why my dad died after the roast beef dinner when he was 62 of a heart attack in front of me. Because we were big meat eaters. I mean, everybody was, basically, we knew. So we had the big Sunday beef or a ham dinner, or but we always had like meat and cheese and eggs and oil and salt and sugar and all the breads. I mean, just everything. So I get that. And I understand it seems so backwards to us because our culture said to eat this food, and everybody around you, most of the people you know, are still eating that way. And psychologically, it seems really hard to switch. But what did it for me, and hopefully it will for you too, if you watch the movie Cowspiracy, have you seen that, Hildy?
No, I have not.
Okay, watch that. And then if you can, watch the movie called Dominion. And I'm telling you, you will switch your mind around about why we shouldn't be eating animal products if you watch both of those. And that helps psychologically. I could never put anything that would hurt an animal in my mouth again. And that's why people who become vegan, not just plant exclusive is fine. If that's all you are, I'm fine. But if you come vegan, you're even more convinced never to put the animal product in your mouth. All you have to do is think of that baby lamb with no leg anymore that was on the dinner table. You know what I mean? Or the baby cow who was separated from her mother so we could take her milk, and they scream for each other. When you see and know these things, and then you find out that the dairy cow was killed at 4 years old, she could live to 20 or more for hamburger. When you think of that, that's why I could never, ever put a morsel of animal product in my mouth. It just couldn't happen.
Linda, we have another question from Cheryl.
Okay,
It is,
thanks,
do you ever make your own plant-based milk?
Yeah, I have an almond maker, but I really like oat milk. So what I'm going to try to do, and I haven't actually tried it, maybe some of you have, tell me if you have. I was thinking of taking rolled oats and see if I could make my own oat milk from it. There's also I think my friend Chef AJ uses Joy, Joi. I think it's like a powder or some sort of mixture you buy online, and you just add water and mix it up for oat milk. And I might try that too. So I would suggest you could get the almond maker. It's really good milk. You put the almonds in the water and you turn it on and it makes almond milk. So it's nice, but I would rather eat oat milk right now. I'm just switching over. It's a little less fat, and I'd like to eat that. So if anybody has any good ideas on how they make their oat milk, let me know, and then I'll share it with everybody too. But yeah, no, I'm going to try the oat milk on my own. I either going to buy the Joy product, or I'm going to try making my own oat milk from scratch. I'll let you know how that goes.
Excellent. And Linda, I have a question. For those people that are super addicted to certain foods, let's say processed, anything processed, meats and dairy and all that, how long does it normally take before they start noticing a difference? Like when they join your 4-week program, and they give it 100%. I love the fact that where people are saying I might be sitting on the fence, because they know once they join that their life is going to change for the better. So when will they start noticing those changes?
Let's see. I've known people to get rid of their cholesterol in 10 days.
Wow.
I have seen people within at least 2 weeks to feel a whole lot better, and to already start wondering why they have to lower their medication. So it's really, the first 2 weeks are key. 3 weeks, you're ready.
Great.
If you can do it for 3 weeks, you've got a real good handle on it. You're feeling better already. Some of you are losing the weight already. Some of you are struggling with that still because of your mitochondria and your gut biome aren't ready yet, but you feel so much better. So it's wonderful, but it doesn't take all that long to feel really good and have more energy than ever before, and vitality. I mean,
Excellent.
Isn't that what we all want? We don't want to be tired. We don't want to be sick. We don't want to be overweight. I want to say one more thing about fat, because people overweight, and I have some beautiful friends I love dearly who are quite overweight, over 100 pounds even, and they don't want anything to do with this or know any part, and they're vegan. They eat plant-based, but it's processed food and oil, sugar, and salt. So, but what I tell them, I do tell them once, and then I never tell them again if they don't ask. I say, look, why don't you join my program? I told her once, and she said, Linda, I can't, I won't, I just won't do it. I said, well, the reason I care about it for you is not even because you're overweight, but it's the extra estrogen you're producing in your body when you eat, when you're overweight. Your body increases the estrogen flow, and that causes your DNA to switch around and promote cancer. So if we don't want cancer, I was overweight when I had my cancer, I know. And I was eating all the wrong food, but I also had the overweight part, and that increases your estrogen, which is not okay for cancer and helps promote it. So it really, and then her chances, of course, go up for diabetes as well when you're overweight. Now, she's one I think I will never change. I'll love her dearly no matter what, but she just won't do it. And there are people like that. So you just have to say nothing and hope that one day, hopefully not when she gets sick, that she'll come to me and I can help. I'd love that. So, yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. And this is the bonus that people get when they sign up. It's got all the different foods that you recommend. And it's also got a list of foods, second from the last page, of what they need to avoid while they're going through that transformation of their eating. You can put a shopping list together. Also, I believe that you're going to have a food journal that they can actually fill out online. It'll be a PDF that they can fill out. So there you are. And Barbara says, Linda, you are teaching by example. So Linda, in closing, I'm going to get off screen. And in closing, what are your final thoughts for people?
I just am so excited about helping people. I'd love to help you. I'd love you to find your optimal weight, your optimal self, because I want you to have the energy I have. It feels so good. You don't have to get old and sick and fat. No, you don't. You don't have to just take the pills your doctor gives you for that quick fix, because you still have the disease or whatever it is. You still have the high blood pressure or the diabetes. So please let me know if I can help you with all that, because I want to help you. I just love people. I love to help people. I love people changing over to this diet because you'll feel better than you've ever felt in your life. And I want to see you. Thank you.